Team Norway and Team Brazil, and everything is on the line here.
Please welcome our players for the second match today. Representing Norway, Ulrikke Eikeri with captain Christian Ruud. And their opponent, representing Brazil, Pigossi. With captain Percharoni.
This is a huge matchup. On paper, you think, well, it's a couple of players outside the top 100, but there's everything to play for here at the United Cup. It currently stands 2-1 between these two teams, so the outcome of this match is absolutely crucial. The outcome of every match is crucial because we're going to have countbacks when it comes to trying to decide who comes top of this group. But as you can see, Brazil with their noses in front at the moment. That's from yesterday's matches when Beatriz Haddad-Maia defeated Malena Helger 6-4, 6-2, and then Felipe Meligeni Alves got the better of Victor Durasovic 6-3, 6-3, a 2-0 lead for Brazil overnight. But Casper Ruud, who else has just turned that around, defeating Thiago Monteiro 6-3, 6-2. So if Ulrikke Eikeri can get the better of Laura Pigossi here, it's all going to go down to the mixed doubles. And that's just the way we like it, isn't it, Jill?
Absolutely. I'm very excited. It was great to see Casper Ruud come through just because it kept Norway in the hunt to try and get on top in this match. A lot of pressure on Eikeri to really try and push it to the mixed doubles. I think this is going to be a fantastic battle. They've played each other before, and so it's going to be interesting. So they're very familiar with each other, but as we're going to see the head-to-head a little bit later, but both of these players are very familiar with each other.
Ulrikke, we have Leo here doing the coin toss for us. First thing, if you'd like to just come on either side, the photographer's just here. Looking at the camera, Leo. Thanks, mate. Now, first, of course, just in each corner, we have the bins for the towels, shot clocks at the back. The coach can speak between points. Any questions? No? Now, who would you like to ask, heads or tails?
Would you like to do head?
Heads. So here you go, like we practiced. Very good. And we do have heads. Receive. Cheers. Thank you very much. Well done, mate. Let's go.
Well done, Thomas Sweeney, and well done, Leo. Excellent coin toss. He asked Laura Pigossi if she'd like heads, and he managed to call the heads for her. So there we go. I think we need to have a look at that. It was already planned in advance, and would you like heads? I know exactly how to toss it for a head, but no. Laura Pigossi has decided to receive, so it will be Ulrikke Eikeri who is going to get us underway serving. She's 30 years old. Number 338 in the world. She slipped just below Malena Helger, her teammate, and that meant that Helger had the honour, as it were, of facing Beatriz Haddad-Maia, which was a bit of a tough one for her, but she gave a decent account of herself. Career high is 206, and 30 years old. She's always been around sort of there or thereabouts. She's won some titles at ITF level, but she is, in fact, both players on this court are great doubles players.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show you they have pretty good all-around games. We saw Pigossi play against Italy the other day, and she was basically on the baseline the entire time, so she is comfortable on the baseline. But I agree, yeah, she's got great skills, great hands at the net. She had a fantastic result earlier in 2022 where she got to the finals of Roland Garros in the mixed doubles. So that was a fantastic result. Good good tournament for Norway, with Casper Ruud as well getting to the men's singles final.
Exactly. All of a sudden, all eyes in Norway would have been on Boulogne-Billancourt, on Paris and Roland Garros as they got to the final. They beat the likes of Krasicik and Skopski and only lost to Shibahara and Kohlhoff in the final. So real big names that they lost to. And then now over to Laura Pigossi. As you say, she lost to Lucia Bronzetti in her opening match because Brazil have already played Italy. That was a couple of days ago, earlier in the week, earlier in the tournament. Pigossi, 28, she's number 118 in the world. She's been as high as number 100, so cracked the top 100 as it were. And she got to the final in Bogota last year, so reasonably local for her. But she had a decent year, and she's also a great doubles player, as she proved in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, got the bronze medal with her compatriot Stefani. That was a great result. They beat Kurmatova and Vesnina in that match to get the bronze medal. That was something they both expressed was such a special moment for them. It's something special in the tennis and all sports, but especially tennis, because you don't get opportunities to get medals. That's the only opportunity you have. So that was a great match for them to win. But Pigossi, she played a good match against Bronzetti. I think Bronzetti, you mentioned it in Italy, was just a little bit too consistent in that match throughout. But I think she'll feel a little bit more comfortable now that she's got one match under her belt.
So there's the head-to-head. Eikeri leads it 2-0. The latter of the two meetings was 2013. They first met in Campobasso in 2011 in qualifying round 2 of an ITF event, and then in Bertioga in 2013. So I don't think we can read a whole lot into there, bearing in mind that it's now 10 years ago, because today is 2023. It's we're talking about the Tokyo 2020 that was in 2021. We started the United Cup 23 in 2022, but today is finally 2023.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yes. One and all. Not quite yet for people who are maybe watching on the west coast of the United States.
That's correct.
Even on the east coast, it's probably not quite time yet, but Happy New Year's Eve to those of you watching in time zones where it's not yet ticked over. And then a Happy New Year to you. Well, yes, if we can start the 2023 tournament in 2022, I think we can wish Happy New Year's left, right and centre.
A Happy New Year, yes.
Exactly. For those of you who celebrate New Year on the 1st, not on the 7th, there's other New Years to come round. There's plenty of New Years, actually, so we'll wish them all in advance, and then again on the day. I'll put some reminders in my calendar here and make sure we get them all correct. This is the team zones that we are looking at. You can tell that that's Team Brazil. There's a lot of yellow shirts there. Pigossi playing in blue, the familiar yellow and blue of the Brazilian flag. And the team zones, well, yes, you've got captains. The Brazilian captain is the coach of Beatriz Haddad-Maia, Rafael Passiaroni. So it's great for them to have his wisdom, being able to share Beatriz Haddad-Maia's coach.
Ready, play.
Eikeri to get us underway.
I think this is going to be interesting from Eikeri in particular, because she hasn't had a match yet, and I feel like that can sometimes make a little bit of a difference. Pigossi, of course, playing first match against Bronzetti, as we mentioned, from Italy. So there can always be a little bit nerves. So many players talk about, getting that first match can be a little bit challenging, a little bit difficult.
Por ahí, está muy bien.
Oh, right on the line. Nice rallying from both players, just having some long exchanges on the cross court. Yeah, Eikeri in particular, I'm sure would have been watching Casper Ruud, hoping that he would keep Norway in the hunt against Brazil.
Yes, Brazil having lost 3-2 to Italy, but they still picked up 2 points from that particular tie, and they've got 2 out of 3 already.
40-50.
Eduardo.
40-30.
That's really good quick movement from Pigossi up to that last backhand.
Use.
Warm applause from the fans here at the Pat Raft Arena. Plenty of them in the arena today, considering it's a morning start on New Year's Day. The expression down here in Australia is maybe feeling a bit dusty, but they're certainly shaking out the cobwebs here and enjoying some good tennis. Oh, there was an example of good tennis. Strode into that one and then put it away in the corner.
Oh, that was great. I like it after the serve just completely moved forward inside the baseline. Didn't hesitate to get up to that short ball. And when Pigossi gets a hold of that backhand, she really does flatten it out. And both times when she took it early, it really skidded through the court. You could see Eikeri just getting a little late on that backhand side.
So that sets up the first break point of the contest.
Team Brazil.
Well, if this first game is anything to go by, we're in for a tight contest,
we're in
aren't
for
we?
a long one, yeah. No, it was great rallying again on the cross. Eikeri just being very patient, kept going to the backhand side, trying to get up high on Pigossi. And that's the right play for Pigossi. Just once she gets that shorter ball, just trying to penetrate through the shot a little bit more to pressure the forehand side of Eikeri.
Another break point for Laura Pigossi. And she finally gets through. It was a good 7-minute game, but the break goes the way of Team Brazil, courtesy of Laura Pigossi. Pigossi in her opening match against Lucia Bronzetti, she seemed to be overmatched and she was 6-love, 4-love down, and finally got into it and broke back to begin with and then held service and really got the crowd behind her. As you were saying earlier, Jill, maybe the fact that she's already had a game out here, because this is a big stage, and particularly, as you can see, bottom of the screen, bottom right, Brazil 2, Norway 1. There's a lot riding on this tie, and
I do think that helps. I think there's a lot of factors that Eikeri has to deal with right now. The fact that this is her first match. This is a decider for them to be able to stay in this contest with Brazil in particular. And, you know, a lot is on her shoulders, the stage as well. This is probably the biggest stage that she's played in. So it's a lot to deal with.
So in 2 days' time, Norway will take on Italy. And then we'll add up all the points scored across all of the matches.
Yeah, I think also, Pigossi, you mentioned that match. After she was trying so hard to get on the board against Bronzetti, I think after she finally got on the board, we saw such fire from her. She started trying to get the fans involved. And sometimes just when you let loose like that and start getting fired up, that can really relax you too, can get you, relax those nerves. That can really help. I think that's why you see a lot of players trying to involve the crowd. It does help a lot. Well, that was a good last shot from Eikeri. I was thinking during that rally, she's defending pretty well, but just not getting enough on the ball to change that around. And until that last forehand where she was on the defense, and you could see her just that motion through that forehand, that's where she accelerated a little bit better on the last one. I like that she took that early. It was the right play to try and apply that pressure. Just couldn't control it because got jumped a little bit up high on her shoulders.
She stepped a long way in there. It wasn't quite Caroline Garcia or Roger Federer towards the end of his career, but it wasn't far off. Calls of fault that you can hear are pre-recorded because it's automated electronic line calling, so no line judges.
That was better from Eikeri, much better point. Again, taking the return early, but stayed up inside the baseline, kept trying to be aggressive. Unfortunately for her, just made that unforced error on the backhand. You can see her really stepping in, did a better job of taking that below the shoulders, which put her in a pretty good position. Just rushed the backhand, the last one, a little bit. too much when she was going for it at the end.
Finishing off with an ace straight down the tee, 171 kilometers per hour. There's no standing in on that one. So a 2-love lead for Pigossi. It's only a break if you hold your own service afterwards, and she has done just that. Now we're going to see the win predictor for this particular match. Pre-match, it favoured Ulrikke Eikeri, which maybe is based on the head-to-head, wouldn't be based on current rankings, but it'd be interesting to see. Well, it's probably gone the way of the Brazilian, I would say, at the moment.
Pretty even, though, overall, in the scheme of things.
Love 15.
It's probably gone 1% more towards Brazil just now, with that first double fault of the contest. Your opponent holds with an ace and then you lead with a double fault afterwards. The nerves are going to start jangling. Here's the win predictor now as it stands. So pre-match it was fitty-fitty, as they like to say in Australia, but now there's been a 17% swing, and now it's a 1 in 3 chance is all that Eikeri has.
Well, Eikeri is going to have to be patient. Pigossi is so consistent off the ground. Both of them going to have to be patient, waiting for those opportunities. Eikeri just making a few more unforced errors. Much better timing on that backhand from Eikeri. Put a little bit extra spin on the backhand too. Sometimes when she's been taking the backhand early, hitting it flat, and she's missed that in the net, but that was much better. Had a little more rotation on that last one.
Another unforced error from Eikeri, though. Already had 9 of them so far in just this third game of the first set, and that sets up another break point. Takes it at the first time of asking this time around. Team Brazil, 2 breaks to the good. Laura Pigossi leads 3-love in the first set. Brisbane, the River City, and there is plenty to do in the great outdoors in Brisbane. You can get a kayak and go on the river, you can bike, you can get one of the e-scooters. There are e-scooters all around Australia at the moment. Everybody absolutely loves them. You can hire them and away you go for an hour or a day, or if you're a bit braver than I am, then you can do a bit of abseiling. I'll stick to the, actually I'll just stick to the walking trails, but there is plenty to do in and around Brisbane.
Not going to have 2023 be an adventurous one for you? No, stick to the hiking trails.
Exactly.
Come on.
Adventurous. I'm going to be, on a later match today, I'm going to be a courtside whisperer. That's the most adventure I want. listening into Christian Ruud, Kasper's father, and
Masse
the
sjanser
team
til å brekke
captain.
den tilbake.
It's a tough one for Eikeri. Eikeri has looked
Ok, kjører vi. Kom igjen, kom igjen.
overmatched. It was the opening service game where Pigossi won the toss and said, OK, I'm going to receive, put the pressure on your shoulders, and that pressure did end up paying. She probably coulda, shoulda held service, and there were 3 break points. She got it back, had a game point of her own. But since then, it's been one-way traffic in favour of this woman, Laura Pigossi.
Yeah, it's a tough swing volley to hit when you're falling backward. The ball was so high in the air and pretty good depth as well. It's a tough one to judge and to time. I like the intention from Eikeri, though, still taking the second serve early, trying to be aggressive.
Pigossi, though, making her hit that one extra shot, and it paid off for her.
Pigossi's been just so solid in these first few games. And I think choosing a little bit smarter shot selections than Eikeri right now. She's using that high, heavy ball pretty well to get a lot of short replies, which allows her to step forward into a lot of these balls.
Pigossi is number 118 in the world, and we need to remember that there are ranking points on offer for wins here, and it depends on the ranking of your opponent, so she won't get a huge amount today if she wins. But there are still points on offer, and it's going to help someone who's just outside the top 100. If you can pick up a few points here, a few points maybe in the if they get through to the city finals, and you can really get yourself up. It can be the difference from being just outside direct acceptance for a Grand Slam to getting in there straight away.
Yeah, it can be fantastic. I think not only the points, but the prize money. That's a great shot. I think because both of these players have played a mix of the ITF and WTA level tournaments, but the majority, obviously, Pigossi has gotten into the top 100. Just at 100 is her high ranking, but Eikeri hasn't quite gotten there yet. And so to have the opportunity to be able to pick up some points, as you said, but also the prize money to help with travels expenses.
Eikeri gets ready to step in.
Getting a little bit more on her return. Eikeri knows that's what she has to do. And I like that, in the first couple return games, or first return game, she was being aggressive, but wasn't quite spreading the court. And now she's getting those returns more out of the center of the court.
Double fault for Laura Pigossi, her first of the contest.
Tough to time that one. Pigossi, great job getting that ball to dip down to the feet of Eikeri at the net. Still liked the play from Eikeri, that she's still trying to stay inside the baseline, put some pressure on Pigossi.
Led first serve.
Four in a row for Pigossi. 2 breaks, 2 holds. She was pushed in that one, but she's taking care of business at the moment. So, average placement of where Eikeri stands on the first service, just behind the baseline, which is quite high up anyway, and then look at that for the second service.
It makes sense. I mean, the second serve, she is being aggressive, and that ball, as we know, these courts are bouncing a little bit high. That's a great shot. Yet off the bounce, they are jumping a little bit. So because of that, you do have to have your court position be even more further in, because it's tougher to hit that shot over your shoulder. So you have to take that chance, take it early, so it's more in your strike zone. Just putting a little bit more pace on the ball. You can definitely see a difference. Even though she hasn't been able to get on the board yet, she is definitely playing differently in these last couple of games, trying to put more pace behind her shots, trying to be more inside the baseline.
Out. 40 left.
So this is what you were saying, Jill, about hitting the ball on the rise. So you don't want to take it when it's dipping back down.
Well, she's timing it well, too. So for her to keep doing that, I think, is a great option.
Hitting it on the rise twice as often.
Game, Team Norway.
So Eikeri gets herself on the board finally. Warm applause from the Pat Rafter crowd, but Team Brazil is still 4-1 to the good. Very warm day here in Brisbane for New Year's Day, and those people who, well, after you've watched the tennis, I suggest you get out and get yourself some sun and fun in and around Brisbane. Queensland is home to the 3 largest sand islands in the world. One of them, Kagari. I should look at that. You can go. That's something. Okay.
That is so cool. I would do that in a second.
Okay. Body boarding, boogie boarding, dune surfing. There must be a proper name for it.
So fun. Look at how beautiful that sand looks.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very hot. The
sure.
sand here is incredibly hot. The number of times me, as a POM, as an Englishman, I think, oh yes, let's feel the sand under my feet. No, oh hang on. Get the well, I call them flip-flops, but get the thongs back on, or pluggers as they're known here in Queensland. So here we are, the Brits, Americans, Australians, all.
It's amazing we can understand each other.
Separated by a common language, as Winston Churchill said a while ago. Christian Ruud will be delighted that, well, there he goes, whistling along to the music. That's what you need from a team captain, someone who whistles along to the stadium music and goes, I'm quite happy with this. You're playing well. I'm just going to whistle while you work, and away you go.
That would make me feel relaxed if I see the team captain just...
We're all good.
I love it, yeah.
Rockin' Robin, that's not what I'm expecting. I was thinking it was going to be more the millennials kind of music, but that was a different millennium, that was. The Red Robin is bobbing there. She's gone on the board. She's currently 2 breaks adrift, Eikeri, and there she stands in again.
Oh. 15 left.
And I think she needs to keep doing that because she has been successful. Sometimes you'll see players mix it up, change it up. If the ball is bouncing high, sometimes you see them taking it early. Sometimes you see them moving backwards to give them a little bit extra time. But so far, besides that last miss hit, she's been pretty successful. Really good job cutting into the court there from Eikeri. Pigossi, I liked the changeup of trying to go for the angle on this forehand. She just didn't have enough pace on that ball, and you could see Eikeri move forward into the court. Just takes that one step at an angle, which makes all the difference to be able to time that, hit that ball down the line. And when you're playing someone who is starting to get more comfortable,
15-30.
like Eikeri is, with taking the ball more aggressive, for Pigossi in particular, that depth on the off of her ground strokes is going to be so important. Who's someone that likes to be on that baseline. She's going to make sure she can't hit the ball too short to continue to allow Eikeri to control these points.
15-30, a bit of pressure on Pigossi, particularly since she's struggling on first service. She's below 44% of her first services in.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice placement on that serve right into the corner.
40-30.
Guided that last backhand too much. Slight hesitation moving forward to that ball from Pigossi.
Perhaps the wrong kind of decision-making from Pigossi, but Eikeri anticipated well and then let rip with a forehand, and she sets up her first break point.
I almost felt like Pigossi should have taken that one out of the air, because by letting it bounce, it just gave Eikeri time to get situated, get balanced, and be able to anticipate.
Yes, by which time you think, well, if you're going to wait for it and bounce, then just hit it straight at your opponent and make them try and move their legs rather than picking one side.
Game, Team Norway.
Break back for Team Norway. It's only one of the two, but Eikeri gets her first break of the contest.
4 games to 2.
Well, she's done a great job of, as we mentioned, being a lot more aggressive, putting a lot more pace on the balls. But the fact that she was able to do that so precisely, sometimes, because in the first few games she was rallying, looking very comfortable, just trying to get the ball back in play. And sometimes when you have to switch and all of a sudden be aggressive, you're not that consistent at first because you're not maybe used to doing that for the first few games. But she's done a fantastic job of believing it in those moments of being aggressive.
Can she follow it up? She's got her first hold, then her first break. She's still a break adrift.
Now Pigossi's starting to make some mistakes that we didn't see in the beginning.
15 left.
There we go, yes. Eikeri had twice as many unforced errors as Pigossi, but the Brazilian is now catching up with her in that unwanted category.
$30 left.
I think because Eikeri has
40 left.
lifted her level, Pigossi now feels the pressure of feeling like she has to do more, and that's where some of these mistakes are coming into play.
Game.
Finish off with an ace, and that's a great hold for Eikeri. She's still a break adrift, but she's got it back to 4-3.
Team Brazil leads by 4 games to 3.
I'm intrigued by the fact that she wears one ankle protector. Obviously, that's an ankle that she's sprained, her right ankle. But if you're going to wear one, then you might as well wear two. I always wear two because I've sprained both. Well, if you're going to wear one, they're not particularly uncomfortable. Andy Murray wore them all the time. Daria Jurak on the women's side. Matteo Berrettini wears them as well. I think he's a white, so you don't see them as much. But
I wouldn't have necessarily thought that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know why. But now that you're saying it, most of
Well,
us wear
to make sure, a lot of it for me as well is psychological.
I think if you don't need it, I don't think you should have to wear it.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I wear. And if you're comfortable with one on the one side, then you might as well protect yourself on the other side, is what I'd say.
You don't necessarily
preventive,
need it.
but it's preventive. It's the equivalent of wearing a different pair of socks for me. Agree to disagree on this one. If only we could see your face there.
I think your body's telling you something, and if it's not necessarily a requirement, I don't think you should just do it just to do it. That's what I think.
There you go.
That's my philosophy anyway.
Kids there going, what are the, oh, there we go. There's that more like a W than an M, but yeah.
Oh, cute.
And then get that chewy toy back in the back on the gums. So 4-3 for Pigossi. She hasn't won a game in a while. She hasn't held in a while, but now she has new balls. Serving at below a 50% clip. Can she make the most of them? This time it was Eikeri making Pigossi hit the extra ball and forcing the error. Good New Year's Day crowd here at the Pat Rafter Arena.
Oh, she let it go. Just had enough spin where it dropped back down into the court. Another good point. She was in, that point was on her racket. Once again, you can see Pigossi trying to lift the ball a little bit higher at the start of this game. Sometimes when it has that height over the net, you do think it's going to sail long, but good top spin.
Well, the rule usually is take it, if in doubt, hit it. I think she might regret that one. 15 all as opposed to love 30. Big difference on the scoreboard. Nervous times for Pigossi. A huge roar when she gets a point on her own service. She's doing it tough at the moment.
I think that's good that she let that go. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the match, where she was down 6-love, 4-love against Bronzetti, and then got on the board, had a scream, and she did start playing better. That helped her, just helped loosen her up. That's great depth right off the baseline.
40-15.
Having a scream to loosen her up, that makes me think of Nick Bollettieri, the great tennis coach who sadly passed away around a month ago, and much lamented by all the tennis world.
Well, it's great playing. Eikeri consistently taking every single ball to the forehand of Pigossi. That is the more vulnerable side. And it's been impressive how she's been able to time that higher backhand down the line, because normally it's naturally easier to go cross court when you're taking it that early, but she's able to redirect that down the line nicely.
Yes, cross court, you're going to go over the lower part of the net. No service clock on second service, so she's taking her time, composing herself. This is a huge pressure point, this one.
Just overplaying that last forehand. Again, good pressure from Eikeri. Still not backing down away from that baseline. Pigossi did get a little safe in that point, just hitting the ball down the center of the court, hoping to get the error from Eikeri.
Eikeri's in the zone at the moment, though. She's not the one making the errors. Pigossi celebrating, if I can call it that, every point at the moment.
Yeah. Well, this is a huge game, especially being up 4-love and then 3 games going by. Eikeri playing really well, so she knows it's a huge game to try and keep the lead.
A long game and a huge hold for Laura Pigossi. It stems the flow. She lost 3 games in a row, but now she's 5-3 up. Eikeri going to have to serve to stay in the set. Eikeri now with pressure on her. She'd won 3 games in a row and had a sniff of winning that one. Pigossi is really going to have the wind in her sails now. The pressure lifted off her shoulders. 3 games in a row that Pigossi had lost. Eikeri went hold, break, back, hold. But now Eikeri serving to stay in the first set for Team Norway. Great point, great rally.
Great point. Pigossi did a great job defending throughout that point there, trying to keep herself in that rally. But I agree, again, her shots becoming so much more penetrating from the beginning of the match.
Even though she didn't win that point, Pigossi looked better in that point, because even in the last game where she held, it was by the skin of her teeth.
Ótima profundidade, Laura. Ótima profundidade.
15.
Bravo, Lau. Bravo. Vamos lá, no pé dela, lá, vamos.
Reminder that earlier in the day, the son of that man there, Christian Ruud, Kasper Ruud, got Norway's first point on the board. Recording a very important victory for his team. 6-3, 6-2 over Thiago Monteiro.
Just falling backwards a little bit.
15-30.
Feeling the pressure of the score. Eikeri, she's been so solid in the last 3 or 4 games, and now just a couple mistakes that we hadn't seen in a while, just mishitting those last 2 forehands.
The unforced errors creeping back in for Eikeri, and that sets up 2 break and 2 set points for Laura Pigossi of Team Brazil. She wouldn't have seen herself in that position 4 or 5 minutes ago when she was struggling to hold at 4-3, and now here she is with 2 set points. What a point to finish off the set. Laura Pigossi certainly earned it with that last shot. She takes the first set 6-3 in 3/4 of an hour.
6 games to 3.
Well, not that I'm telling the directors and producers what to do, but I don't think we need a highlight reel for the set. Let's just show that last point again. It was an absolute
What a way to finish.
cracker, wasn't it?
That was outstanding, and probably heartbreaking for Eikeri, because she did play the perfect point, constructed it well. It was just great movement on the baseline from Pigossi, covered the ball so well. She's such a good mover from side to side, but to be able to produce a shot like she did there on the defense, that was fantastic.
Well, the statistics between the two, there'll be a few things we could pick out, but it seemed to be who could play better for longer and who could get into a rhythm and win the pressure points, really.
That's exactly how it was. It was so one-sided at first for Pigossi. I think she obviously got off to a very quick lead for love. Eikeri did a good job of not panicking, just trying to absorb the advice from the team captain, Christian Ruud, and trying to take everything in. She did change it up. She was playing very, very well, but you're right, at the end, when it mattered at the 5-3, she came up with a couple more unforced errors at some really crucial moments, and I think that's where Pigossi was able to get that first set.
Well, I want executive producer rights on the credits now, because here is that last point again. Absolutely incredible final point, and it didn't look like it was going to be the final point. You thought there that Eikeri's virtually won this. And how about that to finish off?
Well, look where she is inside the baseline. That's where she needed to be, because Eikeri was not that far away from that last ball. If she was any further back, I feel Eikeri maybe could have closed the net a little bit faster, but she just didn't have the time.
Well, around 5 minutes ago, Laura Pigossi was serving at 4-3 juice. She was 15-30 down prior to that. It really was nip and tuck.
Team Brazil to serve.
Team Brazil to serve with a 1-love lead.
Love 15.
Inauspicious start. You think, well, how are you going to carry the momentum into the second set? She broke to win, which she probably would have preferred to do because she's been nervous on service. And now she has to serve to open the second set. She's got a first service rate up to 53% in the first set. Still no great shakes. Better than it was at one point. 0 for 2 at the moment in this set.
Went for another pretty big second serve right into the body
15.
of Eikeri. That's a really good option for someone that is taking the return so early. Try and jam them into the body. Let's try and take the first serve that early too.
15.
She was well inside the baseline.
A lot of humour and good vibes there on the Norway bench. I presume the discussion on the Norway bench was, well, why don't you try that, Casper? Why don't you stand that far in when you're receiving second services, or maybe even first services? Yeah, go on, then I'll give that a go.
Yeah, I don't think he does that very often.
No.
No, he likes to have that time on the return.
Exactly, but now his teammates there going, yeah, give it a go. What have you got to lose? Other than your top 3 ranking.
40-30.
Back to juice, not the easy hole that Pigossi would have been hoping
Yes.
for, opening the second set.
Led first serve.
That's too bad with that mistake, because I like the move from Eikeri, because it was pretty short shot from Pigossi. Just rushed it a bit. You could see her hitting that forehand a little bit too far out in front. That was a good hit. She didn't miss it by much.
As you can see there on the screen behind Laura Pigossi, it was a close call. There it is. That's how far it missed by. Electronic line calling courtesy of Hawkeye, and the fans in the stand here at the Pat Rafter Arena, they get to see those close calls.
Advantage, Team Norway.
First break point of the second set goes the way of Team Norway.
Yes.
I like that changeup on the serve. Eikeri getting very comfortable, not only taking the ball early, but especially seeing the backhand. She's getting a lot of backhands on the return. So good changeup from Pigossi.
A long first game, as we had in the opening set. Was she actually at the net to receive that service? She seemed to be. She was at the net very soon afterwards. Second break point for Eikeri. World number 338. The world number 118, Laura Pigossi, stays alive in this game.
I mean, even though this is a tight game, I feel like Eikeri has a slight advantage just with the way she's been playing her attention. She's looking to win those points, and Pigossi, I feel like, is hanging on in this first service game.
Team Brazil there in the team zone on the edge of their seats.
That forehand angle, she had a little bit more pace on it. That's why it was more effective in that point.
Advantage, Team Brazil.
Seen her try and use that shot a couple times, but just didn't have the acceleration, and that one just had a little bit more pace on it.
So a game point this time around for Pigossi. Taking her time on service. Shot clock down to 2 seconds.
forced to come into the net, Pigossi, but just stopped a little bit too short, stopped her momentum, ended up reaching for that volley, just popped it up. Need to continue her movement forward as she was hitting the volley.
Seconds.
No service clock after you've got into your service motion on the first service, so even on a let, Pigossi can take a time now.
Advantage, Team Norway.
Well, we go back to another break point for the Norwegians. Will the third be the charm for Eikeri? She was the one who struggled to hold to open in the first set. It was eventually broken at the third time of asking. Can she return the compliment to Pigossi this time around? Or will we have another juice?
Juice.
6 juices so far in a 10-minute game.
Almost looked like Eikeri got a little bit frozen at the baseline there as Pigossi was hitting the forehand.
It's as if she saw the white paint under her foot and thought, what's this? What's baseline? What line? I've never seen that before. Standing so far in. In she comes again.
Oh, that's a nice deep serve. Must have caught just the back of the line.
I'd say it's not over yet, but it is now after 12 minutes, 6 juices. A huge hold of service for Laura Pigossi. She leads by a set and 1 love. Pump of the fist there, and she certainly earned that one. Disappointment though for Eikeri. 12 minutes and nothing to show for it.
She can take some confidence from that game, though. I mean, the last couple service games have not been easy for Pigossi. Eikeri is doing a good job of continuing to apply that pressure.
Man, a few words, Christian Ruud. And all of them in Norwegian, so that doesn't help us.
Doesn't help us.
Other than when he says forehand, backhand, I can pick those up. But
or come on.
yes, come on. Yes. Yeah. Team captain for Norway.
Love 50.
Just a second double fault of the match.
That same shot, that high backhand into the forehand side of Pigossi has been effective. As long as she continues to get good depth on that shot, she's been able to catch Pigossi a little late on that side.
Hard hitting from Eikeri, but very good defense from Pigossi.
15-30.
Brazil bench that we saw there, Team Brazil team zone. Beatriz Haddad-Maia, who's picked up a couple of points for them already across the 2 ties that she's played. As you can see from the bottom right of your screen, Brazil currently leading this tie 2-1. Haddad-Maia picking up the first point, beating Malena Helgö yesterday, and then Felipe Meligeni Alves seeing off Viktor Durasovic. And Casper Ruud getting Norway on the board this morning against Thiago Monteiro. What a great point.
Really high quality from both players, both going toe-to-toe really from the baseline. It was Pigossi who was able to spread the court just a little bit more. Not a pretty good option there on the approach shot because it's a difficult shot. It was really low, so just going down the center of the court takes that angle away more from your opponent, and good close on the volley.
Pigossi turning around straight away to the team zone there and getting a pump of the fist back from Rafael Pazziaroni, who's the team captain. Two break points it was for Pigossi after that epic point, and one of them saved now.
It's a good pickup on this one from Eikeri. That was a difficult shot. It was a pretty good hard slice from Pigossi. Got good depth on that half volley.
Yes.
It's a way to save the next break point. Second ace of the contest for her, out wide.
A lot of running Pigossi just did. Good focus overall on that point from Eikeri. Just
Team Norway.
on some of those defensive shots from Pigossi. Didn't try and overplay the more difficult ones. Good get there, and then completely had to run the opposite side of the court.
First set seemed to be a case of who's playing well at which moment. It was 4-love for Pigossi. Eikeri came back, and now they seem to be peaking at the same time. In this game in particular. Of course, as I say that, then there's a first service that goes halfway down the net.
Starting to go after the forehand side a little more often, Pigossi.
Yes.
Throwing up that high ball with some good depth when she's been under pressure.
Advantage.
Clip the line.
Wow.
Team Brazil.
What a return. I feel like she hit that late too, but was able to catch just part of the line.
Just there we go. Perfect illustration of it behind Pigossi there. Just hitting the outside of the line again. Eikeri leaving it, which is done once or twice. Assuming that the ball's going to go out. No line judges to appeal to afterwards.
They really have to move to the ball, like every single one is going to go in, and then let it at least go and hit it, and then let it go afterward if you need to, or hit it and wait for the call.
Back to juice after a break point saved by Eikeri.
Advantage, Team Norway.
Rallies have been a lot longer in this second set. The games have been a lot longer. Already 23 minutes into this set. A 12-minute game earlier. This one's up to 8 minutes.
Juice.
Double fault. Second of the set. One at the very start of this game. Cast your minds back 10 minutes ago. Picks a spot there and sets up another break point.
Advantage, Team Brazil.
That was a good return, and the next ball from Eikeri just floating a little bit too short. That's a serve she's going to almost every single time on the ad side when she's been behind in the score. Loves that flat out wide serve. She places it well.
We understood the Christian Ruud Norwegian there, didn't we? All about the service on those last 2 points.
It was a good serve.
Three great services in a row to dig her out of a hole. She was break point down. Three big services, and it's one apiece in the second set. Two very different playing styles between these two, and hitting ground strokes on the rise. So when the ball's just bounced and is still coming up, 77% of the time by Eikeri, and just 1 in 3 from Pigossi, who lets it come down, gives herself a bit more time.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Eikeri likes to take it on the rise on both wings, on the forehand and the backhand, and Pigossi takes it on the rise mainly on the backhand. She likes to have that extra time on the forehand in particular. And it's just the court position of both players as well. Eikeri is just naturally more on top of the baseline, which allows you to take the ball. I mean, you sort of had to take the ball a little bit earlier because of the way you're standing, and Pigossi just a couple feet further behind the baseline. she likes that backhand down the line. You rarely see Pigossi miss that shot. I do feel like Pigossi does have opportunities to take maybe 1 or 2 steps further into the court, especially on the shorter balls, but she's letting the ball come to her a little bit more, and I think she's capable of stepping up a couple more times just to apply a little extra pressure. That's an excellent second serve.
14 left.
Bien sacado, Lau. Vamos.
A hole to love, exactly what Pigossi needed. She leads 2-1 and by a set to love for Team Brazil. I don't know about Team Brazil, but Team Poland, who are up here as well, playing in a different group. They went to the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary a couple of days ago, and they had a day off, and they got to go out and cuddle a koala. Not koala bears, you mustn't call them koala bears, it's koalas. It's get Australians very annoyed if you call them koala bears, but there's all sorts of things that you can, all sorts of animals you can see all around here, not necessarily at the Lone Pine. You've got the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary as well on the Gold Coast. It's a real haven for wildlife, and how about that?
What a seat.
What kind of bird is that? I don't know what kind of bird that is, because we're up in Queensland, and obviously it's the size of a continent, and you get different birds in different states. Pigossi, that's a great hold of service for her. We had 2 games that were 12 minutes each to start off the set, and then a hold to love, just what the doctor wanted. Coach Beard, as we like to refer to him. Any coach with a beard now is going to be Coach Beard. That's the rule. Decent beard though, not just a little bit of scruff, as they say. It's got to be a proper beard, and that is indeed a proper beard on Beatrice Haddad-Meyer's coach, Rafael Passiaroni, who is the captain for Team Brazil. Christian Ruud for Team Norway.
15 left.
Peachy spot, and she certainly did. He was just looking at the screen there, because the coaches have, I think, 16 different angles that they can call up on the screens to analyze things mid-game.
On.
There is his regular charge, Beatrice Haddad-Meyer, world number 15, most improved player on the WTA Hologic circuit in 2022. 2 points already for Team Brazil.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
I was, because you're always forced. You're there, you think, I don't want to hit a tweener, but I've got to hit one because the crowd will go, otherwise.
I think the way she was running, I don't know, and it happened at the last second.
Yes, I thought, oh, she's not going to do it.
Right.
I don't think she was going to do it, and then
good.
thought, I'd better hit a tweener. They're all expecting it here at the Pat Rafter Arena.
Just mistiming a couple. Good heavy spin on that last forehand from Pigossi.
Loves taking it early, and when she takes it early and it goes long, you think, oh, you've snatched at that.
I think when you take it that early, the timing is so important, and she's been timing it well, but if there's any kind of slight hesitation, that's where you can get into trouble.
2 break points for Pigossi, who already leads 2-1 by a set. Trying to paint the line with that one.
You can't blame her to try and go for that backhand down the line. Loves that shot, but was off balance as she was hitting it, falling backwards. So tough to hit that one high over the net and be able to control it when you're off balance.
Yes, as you can see, it's what we call the highest part of the net, but as you look at the net there, you can see it's slightly lower in the middle. It is higher at the sides, going up to the posts. Great angle from Pigossi, and she gets that all-important break. She leads 3-1, having taken the first set 6-3.
Brazil leads by 3 games to 1.
And the first signs of frustration from Eikeri as well. After this point, she's been so composed the entire match so far, and just a little bit flustered now that has got broken again in the second.
You can't show any more frustration than that when you're 338 in the world. You haven't got a dozen rackets waiting for you. You've got to keep the few that you've got. I don't remember you smashing any rackets, Jill.
I'm glad you don't remember. No, I was normally pretty good. I had a couple moments. Tennis can be frustrating sometimes.
It can. Can be a frustrating sport when you're making unforced errors like that one from Eikeri. 10 already in the second set, 26 so far in the match. Body language seems a little bit down from Eikeri now.
I can say that frustration has carried over slightly in these first few points.
Forced back, but as soon as she could, she was right back at the net again.
Yeah, it was great. I think that was the perfect move. That's exactly what she should have done. And she moved at the right time, too. Waited until Pigossi was mid-swing, then just charged forward. Smart to take that next one out of the air. was a missed opportunity there. I think in her mind she got
40-30.
stuck whether to let that ball go or hit it, and then couldn't quite get her racket in the right spot at the last second. Just a little indecisive.
What should have been a break-back point is now a point for a 4-1 lead for Pigossi. Not backing down, though.
Moved through that forehand exceptionally well, Eikeri.
Deuce.
Well, not only accelerate through the ball, but that extra momentum forward and to let your body continue with you just adds more pace to your shots.
Got a little bit of luck there with the net cord, but deserved it.
Advantage. Team
The
Brisbane.
determination and the proactiveness she was showing.
Pigossi's so good at being able to use that spin on that forehand side to get it to the feet consistently when Eikeri's been able to come into the net.
Another point for a 4-1 lead. Eikeri looking to step in again. And she's back you go. And now she's going to step in again. And frustration from Eikeri. Pigossi does hold. She leads a set and 4-1.
Team Brazil leads by 4 games to 1.
Brisbane, city of culture. Brisbane has its own powerhouse museum. A lot of powerhouse museums in cities around Australia. They have one that's in a building that's almost a century old, transformed into an art centre in Queensland's home of contemporary culture. Very cultural city, Brisbane. It has a big calendar of festivals, events, comedy, arts, music. Obviously music as well. One of my favourite Australian bands comes from Brisbane, Powderfinger. I love driving past Vulture Street every day when I'm on the way in to the Pat Rafter Arena. Team Brazil in the team zone, and Pigossi more or less in the zone at the moment. She's been made to fight for this one, but fight she has. Against an opponent ranked 200 places below her in the world. She leads 6-3, 4-1. Another point for Brazil. Give them the match. Brazil currently leading 2 points to 1. Curtis Haddad-Maia and Felipe Meligeni Alves getting the points for Brazil. 1 point for Casper Ruud. From Casper Ruud for Norway. Eikeri looking to keep them in this best-of-5 tie. There we can see Monteiro and Haddad-Maia. Haddad-Maia with 2 wins already for Team Brazil. The rally's getting longer, and Eikeri is certainly not backing down.
Fifteen.
Fault.
15-30.
Fourth double fault of the set, fifth of the match for Eikeri. 4 points given away. That's the equivalent of a game given away on your own service. In this game of fine margins, you can't afford to do that.
$15-40.
Two break points for a 5-1 lead for Pigossi. Game and another break for Laura Pigossi. She will be able to serve now for the match, leading 6-3, 5-1. She's had her service broken a few times, or under pressure rather, on a number of occasions, and broken once in the first set. Felt like she'd been broken more than once, but she's managed to save a number of break points. But she's not going to do it by double faulting. Her third of the set. Applause from the crowd and 15. From the Brazil team zone. 3 points away from victory and sealing the tie for Team Brazil. Of course, every point counts. Great depth, and then that lovely forehand. She's very comfortable on the backhand wing, but there, that sat up nicely on the forehand. Great depth of hitting prior to that. Eikeri stepping in again on the second service, as she has done all match, putting pressure on her opponent. Good first service, but a great return. Staying alive, sets up a break back point. It's a slightly awkward angle for her, but she made the best of it. Coming into the body slightly cramped, but there we go. A little bit of margin inside the baseline and the tram line. Close call on that one.
Game.
Steps in perfectly and breaks back. So Eikeri stays alive. She will have to serve to stay in the match, though, at 2-5 down in the second set.
By 5 games to 2.
Extra konst på serven nå, første serven. Mange første server inn.
Norway playing in red, Brazil playing in yellowy gold. It's the Gold Coast, just north of here. Look at those beaches, absolutely beautiful. And you've got SeaWorld, you've got theme parks, and you've got beaches, beaches, beaches. The beautiful blue of the Pacific Ocean. It's an absolutely wonderful place to spend your holidays, as I have done on a number of occasions and will do on many more occasions to come in the future. Maybe Team Norway haven't really got much in terms of time off between now and the end of the group stages, but Brazil can probably spend a little bit of time up on the Gold Coast over the next couple of days.
All right, ikke bruke foran din nå.
Ulrikke Eikeri breaking back and staying alive. Did think that they both looked a little bit nervous on service, and might actually be easier for Laura Pigossi to return for the match, as it were. Pigossi leading 6-3, 5-2. Just failed to serve it out. Beatrice Haddad-Maia, the number one of, well, on the women's side, and indeed for this team, for Team Brazil. Team Brazil are here, courtesy of Beatrice Haddad-Maia's ranking. And there she is, cheering on Laura Pigossi. Pressure now on Ulrikke Eikeri. She's going to have 6 new Dunlops to serve with. And she's the one with a slightly stronger service. Can she make the most of them and stay in this match? Pigossi lets that one go to the net, and just to put Eikeri off her service rhythm.
Love 15.
It's twice in a row she's opened a service game with a double fault. She's served 5 so far in this second set alone, 6 in the match. Never the ideal way to open a service game.
Out. 15.
Close call, that one, as you can see on the screen at the Pat Rafter Arena. Excellent second service. She's struggling on the first service from the juice court, the one on the right-hand side of the court. But excellent placement there out wide on the second service. Sending Pigossi way out and opening up all of the court. She was 4-love down in the first set and got it back to 4-3 and almost broke back to make it 4-all. Eikeri's going to be looking to do the same again here.
Yes. 40-15. Out. 40-30.
Feet were a little too static for that shot there. Another chance to take it to 5-3 and heap the pressure right back on Pigossi.
Game.
And that's exactly what she does. She holds. So from 5-1, it's 5-3. And all of a sudden, Pigossi's got to serve it out once again. Nervous times. The pressure is on. Now the pressure points won. The pressure points are more or less everything from 30 all onwards, so when the pressure is really on. And Pigossi has won 23 to Eikeri's 15 so far, but 10 of the 15 have come for Eikeri in this second set, and she's won 3 or 4 of them over the last couple of games. There was a bigger discrepancy before, but it seems to be that Eikeri is rising to the occasion and handling the pressure at the moment. And the pressure may well be getting to Pigossi. She failed to serve it out at 5-1. She's being asked to do so again at 5-3. Eikeri coming way in once again.
Love 15.
Decent service and perhaps an opportunity miss for Eikeri there. Pigossi once again 3 points from victory and sealing the tie for Team Brazil. Best of 5 rubbers, as you can see, bottom right, they lead 2-1. Eikeri desperate to get to the net there, but opened up the entire court for Pigossi. Beautiful play from Eikeri. Dominated the rally. Came in at the right time, not too early this time.
30 all.
Opened up the court wonderfully there. So 30 all. We're on to one of those famous pressure points again. Which one of these two is going to handle the pressure better? The expectation is on Pigossi's shoulders. Great service return, and it's another break-back point. It's very similar to the first set that went from 4-all to 4-3.
30-40.
Here, obviously, we're a lot closer. 5-3 serving for the match. Big first service needed here. Eikeri's going to stand a long way in on this one.
Game.
And puts the pressure on for a double fault. It's a double break back. We are back on service. 5-4 to Pigossi in the second set, but back on service.
Team Brazil leads by 5 games to 4.
Eikeri already back in the team zone and getting the fist bumps from Christian Ruud. Putting real pressure there on her opponent, and Pigossi not able to serve it out twice in a row. Of course, for the second time in a row, Eikeri now is going to have to serve to stay in the match, but she's done it twice, and she's broken back twice. Stay in the match. She's done it before. She's broken to stay in the match twice. She's going to need some first services because she only wins 1 point out of 4 on her second service, and we've just seen that right there. Big opportunity for her there. She's always desperate to come into the net.
Love 30.
It's a good idea for her to do it. She's won 70% of her points at the net, 77% of her points at the net in the second set. Love 30. Pigossi again only 2 points away from the match. Still 2 points away, but Eikeri certainly isn't going away.
15-30.
The advantage of a good first service. A double fault again, 6th of the set, 7th of the match, and that offers Pigossi her first 2 match points. She's served for the match twice, hasn't had any match points, and here come the first 2. Crowd at the Paterafter Arena sensing the occasion. She had it on her racket there. Gutsy play from Eikeri. Stayed alive.
30-40.
Made Pigossi have to win it rather than giving it to her from an error. Made her play that extra shot, and that extra shot ended up being an unforced error. 30-40, still match point. And she wins it.
Team Brazil.
Saw the space at the net, put it past her opponent. Laura Pigossi wins 6-3, 6-4 in a 1 hour, 50-minute epic to seal the tie for Team Brazil. Immediately goes over to shake hands with the Norway team zone. Now she can receive the plaudits from the coach and captain, Rafael Passiaroni. A word, though, for Ulrikke Eikeri. Gutsy performance from the world number 338. Certainly looks a higher ranked player than that. Never went away, very aggressive playing style. Pigossi, though, gets it done and seals the tie for Brazil. They lead Norway 3-1 with one to come. Of course, they lost their opening tie 2-3 to Italy, so they'll be looking to get as many points as possible. They'll be looking to win the mixed doubles as well that's going to come up after this. That was wonderful that it was sealed with a winner, not with a double fault or an error. And she saw the opportunity with Eikeri coming to the net, as she likes to do. The court was open there for her, and she put it away. And you can see the relief on her face. Lovely to see smiles on the faces of both women. Disappointment for Eikeri, but we will see more of her in the future. Jill Krabus. Jill Krabus, I do believe, is now down there ready to interview the winner who has just sealed the tie for Brazil.
Laura, congratulations. You clinched it for Brazil against this tie. Just what does that mean for you, for Team Brazil, and for your teammates?
Well, I'm really happy that I managed to win this point for Brazil. I was a bit nervous at the beginning, but yeah, it was just an amazing atmosphere. You guys were amazing. It's so nice to play in a condition like that, so thank you. And yes, I'm really happy to win this point for Brazil.
And you couldn't tell that you were nervous at all. You looked very comfortable out there. Won in straight sets, but you had a lot of close games. I think 3 or 4 went over 10 minutes. What, in those pressure moments, you handled so well. What did you do the best, do you think?
Yeah, I was just trying to move out my legs to get the ball going, try to play long rallies so I could get like more loose, and I think I managed to play really well the important points and get those clinch moments. Yeah, I got to put my game and command the points.
And as far as the team atmosphere, it's a very unique situation starting 2023. Happy New Year. How did you feel with your compatriots? They were so supportive for you. What meant the most to you from your team?
Yeah, I think all our teammates, we know each other since we are 8 years old, so yeah, we're really close, and it's really nice to see each one of us just improving and getting like good rankings and go up in the rankings like Via. first time I played against her, I think she was 8 or 9.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just really nice to get the support of them, and I'm really happy that I got us this win.
Well, you can see it. Congratulations. You played fantastic, and best of luck to Team Brazil.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Happy New Year.
It is indeed a happy new year for Team Brazil. After losing 3-2 to Team Italy, they are now 3-1 up in an unassailable lead over Team Norway, and they'll be looking to make that 4-1 in the mixed doubles. It's going to come up very soon after this, but first of all, Laura Pigossi has got to sign 3 of those Dunlops and then fire them into the crowd here at the Pat Rafter Arena. Very good crowd in here. A few of them obviously have just disappeared off. It was a 2-hour match there, so there'll be people going for a comfort break and make sure they can use the concession stands, get something to eat, because it's lunchtime here, 1:30 Queensland time. Oh, and she's making some young fans very happy here. There we go. So it's young fans, young and old alike. Delight for Team Brazil in Brisbane, sealing this tie. Norway not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Mixed doubles to come, and then they have a tie against Italy, where we're going to have the likes of Matteo Berrettini against Casper Ruud. Everyone will be looking forward to that one. Dug deep did Laura Pigossi. Struggled to get over the line at the end and did so via a break, but she secured that third and crucial point for Team Brazil. So away she goes, job done. She lost her opening tie against Lucia Bronzetti, but she's defeated Ulrikke Eikeri here. Struggled a little bit on service, did Pigossi. We saw that, 5 double faults, but the forehand and in particular the backhand winners, she was really on song on the backhand, and fewer unforced errors. I think Eikeri was forcing the issue by taking the ball very early, as we saw, and coming into the net 23 times Eikeri, and it worked 15, but on the final point of the match it didn't. And it meant that Laura Pigossi could seal that all-important third point for Team Brazil, defeating Ulrikke Eikeri 6-3, 6-4. Brazil now leading Team Norway 3-1.